Welcome, students. In this session, we are going to discuss about methods to control oxides of sulfur. Methods to control SOx. SOx is nothing but oxides of sulfur. In previous session, we have seen that there are various methods to control the emission of oxides of sulfur into atmosphere, and probably the method which we can use to control the emission of oxides of sulfur is involved in the removal of sulfur content from the fuel, or the removal of sulfur content or sulfur products from the flue gases. So the removal of sulfur from the fuel or flue gases is called as desulfurization. So it means simply the process of control of SOx emissions into atmosphere is called as desulfurization. And this desulfurization process we can employ as three types. It means in three cases we can apply this desulfurization process. First one is the desulfurization before combustion, desulfurization after combustion, and next one is the desulfurization during combustion. During combustion. So generally in industries or thermal power plants or in automobiles, so these are all the various sources of oxides of sulfur into atmosphere. And generally in these industries we will burn the fuels like coal or petroleum. So whenever we burn these fuels in industries or in automobiles, they will produce oxides of sulfur into atmosphere. So first one is the desulfurization before combustion. It means this is the process of removal of sulfur from the fuels before they are entering into the industry for combustion or for the process. That is called as desulfurization before combustion. And next one is the desulfurization after combustion. Whenever we burn fuels in industry, they will produce some pollutants. So from those pollutants, if we remove the sulfur content or oxides of sulfur, and then we discharge those gases or pollutants into atmosphere, that process is called as desulfurization after combustion. This process also called as desulfurization of flue gases or pollutant gases. Flue gas is nothing but the gas which can be emitted from any combustion, that is called as flue gas. So mostly the combustion of fossil fuels, they will release various pollutant gases. Those pollutant gases contains various oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, and some other pollutants like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane, like that. So those pollutant gases coming out from industrial combustion process are called as flue gases. And next one is the desulfurization during combustion. It means whenever we are burning or utilizing these fuels in industry, at the time of utilizing or at the time of combustion of those fuels, we can remove the sulfur from those fuels. So that process is called as desulfurization during combustion. In previous session, we have discussed about desulfurization before combustion. In this session, we are going to see about desulfurization after combustion. So let me explain. In this session, we are going to discuss about desulfurization after combustion, or this process also called as desulfurization of flue gases. So the desulfurization of flue gases involved in two processes. First one is dye process. Second one is wet process. In dry process, we will use adsorbents to adsorb the pollutant gases. And in wet process, we will use absorbents or solvents or liquids to absorb the pollutant gases or oxides of sulfur. So these are all the method. This is adsorption process. This is absorption process. In this, we will use absorbents. So about these two methods, we are going to see in this session. What are the adsorbents we will use to adsorb the oxides of sulfur from flue gases, and what are the absorbents gas liquids we will use to absorb the oxides of sulfur from flue gases. So this is about these methods we are going to see in this session. As we discussed, as dye process involves in adsorption of SOx on surfaces of solids. So for this purpose, we will use three types of solids. It means those three solids are the most effective and efficient to adsorb the oxides of sulfur. So in most of the industries, they will use these three solids. So they are, first one is the alkalized alumina. So alkalized alumina, it is the another name of sodium aluminate. Alkalized alumina, it is called as sodium aluminate. And next one is the manganese oxide. It is a solid which we can use to adsorb the SOx from the flue gases. And next one is the activated carbon. This is a solid content which we can employ to adsorb the oxides of sulfur from flue gases. And the process in which we use alkalized alumina is called as alkalized alumina process. And the process or the adsorption process in which we use manganese oxide to adsorb the oxides of sulfur is called as manganese oxide process. And the process in which we use activated carbon to adsorb the oxides of sulfur is called as Reinluft process. Reinluft process. So these are all the three methods or three solids which we can employ to adsorb the oxides of sulfur from flue gases. So these are all the most effective and efficient methods. Now we are going to see about these three methods. We are going to see various methods to control SOx emissions. So in this session, we will see especially about desulfurization of flue gases, desulfurization after combustion. So we can see this desulfurization after combustion, also called as post combustion or flue gas desulfurization. Flue gas desulfurization is employed to control SOx or oxides of sulfur from industries or power plants. This process is again classified as two methods. First one is dye process and next one is wet process. Dye process again classified into three methods. First one is alkalized alumina process. Second one is manganese oxide process, and third one is the adsorption by activated carbon. So, and wet process again classified as three methods. First one is the limestone scrubbing. Next one is manganese oxide process. Next one is Wellman's Lord process. So first we will see about dry process. It means adsorption, in which we will use various solid beds to adsorb the oxides of sulfur from the flue gases or from the flow of pollutant gases. Dry process. Adsorption of sulfur dioxide or oxides of sulfur by metal oxides to form stable sulfides or sulfates with subsequent regeneration. Alkalized alumina process, manganese oxide process will come in this process. It means these two are the metal oxides, alkalized alumina and manganese oxide. So these two are the adsorption process, and next one is the adsorption and activated carbon followed by regeneration and conversion of concentrated sulfuric acid or elemental sulfur. This process also called as Rhine-Luft process. So dry process, it means see first point again, adsorption of sulfur dioxide by metal oxides to form stable sulfides or sulfates with subsequent regeneration. It means here in this point we are discussing about various metal oxides which can be utilized as adsorbents. So in this process, the metal oxides we are going to use are alumina. Alkalized alumina means alkalized alumina is it is the name of sodium aluminate, and next one is the manganese oxide. So these are all the two metal oxides which we can employ to absorb the oxides of sulfur. And one more term is there, regeneration. The term regeneration is nothing but making the adsorbent fresh. It means once the adsorbent bed, either activated carbon or alumina or manganese oxide, whatever the adsorbent, which has been once it is used as a adsorbent, it will adsorb various oxides of sulfur or various pollutants into it. So once it start adsorbing, after some time, it will be fully saturated with oxides of sulfur. So once it has been saturated with oxides of sulfur, we need to dispose the adsorbent bed. So if we dispose the spent or used adsorbent bed directly into atmosphere, again it is going to create problem to atmospheric pollution. So we need to wash out the adsorbent bed, and again we need to use the same adsorbent for the further operation or for the further adsorption process. So the process of so it means the process of cleaning of spent adsorbent to make it fresh and making it usable for further cleaning operation or further adsorption process is called as regeneration. So every adsorbent like alkalized alumina or manganese oxide or activated carbon we can use for adsorption process. After it gets saturated with the pollutant gases, again we can wash them. After that we can use the same adsorbent for the next operation or next adsorption process. So that process is called as regeneration process. So first one is the alkalized alumina process. In this process we will use sodium aluminate as adsorbent. So this process is also called as cyclic adsorption process. This process is developed by US Bureau of Mines, and this process uses sodium aluminate to remove sulfur dioxide from the flue gases in fluidized bed. So this is a chemical formula of sodium aluminate, Na2O Al2O3. So this Na2O Al2O3, it means sodium aluminate, reacts with sulfur compounds like sulfur dioxide in the flue gases or pollutant gases, and then it will produce sodium sulfate Na2SO4 along with Al2SO3. It means aluminum sulfite. So sodium aluminate reacts with sulfur dioxide in the presence of half molecule of oxygen and then produce sodium sulfate. So in this process, it is producing sodium sulfate as the byproduct. See, and once the sodium sulfate has been produced, that sodium sulfate we can remove or we can send it to recycling process. But in this process, as we discussed that each and every adsorbent to be regenerated. So in this process, you can see that the spent adsorbent produces sodium sulfate. So that sodium sulfate again reacts with the hydrogen at 680 degrees centigrade, and then it will produce sodium aluminate. It means first of all sodium aluminate reacts with sulfur dioxide and then it produces Na2SO4. That Na2SO4 within the adsorbent again reacts with hydrogen molecule or hydrogen gas, and then it will produce again the alkalized alumina or sodium aluminate, Na2O Al2O3 it is producing. So it means that, see here, the product of above reaction is then contacted with a reducing gas such as hydrogen in a regenerator at 680 degrees centigrade to produce hydrogen sulfide. So in this process, the regeneration is possible as well as hydrogen sulfide will be produced. So that hydrogen sulfide produced within the adsorbent, we can separate it by using distillation process, or we can separate it by using some other process. That process is called as recycling process, and that recycling process also called as class process. It means to recycle or to separate the hydrogen sulfide from the adsorbent is called as class process. Sodium aluminate is recycled back and hydrogen sulfide is sent to class process for producing sulfur. Okay. See that this is the flow chart of the alkalized alumina process. See, fresh adsorbent will be sent to adsorption tower, and from the adsorption tower to the adsorption tower, from stack, the pollutant gases will be entered into adsorption tower. From the adsorption tower, once the adsorbent gets saturated with the oxides of sulfur, then the adsorbent is called as spent adsorbent. That spent adsorbent is sent to regenerator. In regenerator, the adsorbent will become fresh, and then in regenerator, hydrogen sulfide also will be produced. That hydrogen sulfide, from that hydrogen sulfide, it means that hydrogen sulfide will get distilled, and also we can extract sulfur content from the product. That process is called as class process, and the unit which is used for class process is called as class unit. So this is the flowchart of alkalized alumina process. Next one is manganese oxide process. This process is developed by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Japan, and in this process we will use manganese oxide MnO2 as a adsorbent. So this manganese oxide reacts with the oxides of sulfur, especially with sulfur dioxide in the flue gases, and then it will produce manganese sulfate. So in this process also, we can regenerate the manganese oxide as a used as adsorbent. So see, the powdered adsorbent is fed into the reactor where in the manganese oxide reacts with SO2 to produce manganese sulfate, MnSO4. So this is the actual chemical reaction taking place. MnO3 by H2O plus SO2 plus half 2 minus X into O2 gives MnSO4 plus YH2O. So whenever we apply manganese oxide as adsorbent to adsorb the oxides of sulfur, so the chemical reaction will be like this. So in this equation, where X ranges from 1.5 to 1.8 and Y ranges from 0.1 to 1.0, these are all the X and Y are the numerical terms within the chemical reaction. So especially the MnO2 reacts with SO2 and then it will produce manganese sulfate. This manganese sulfate we can regenerate by using, say here, ammonia. So this spent adsorbent is regenerated by reacting with manganese sulfate with air and ammonia to produce ammonium sulfate. So the manganese sulfate produced in the chemical reaction, it will again reacts with water and ammonia, then it will produce manganese dioxide again. So see here. So see here in this reaction, MnSO4 manganese sulfate reacts with ammonia and then it will produce again manganese oxide MnO2 again. So this process is called as regeneration process. In this regeneration process, when the manganese sulfate reacts with ammonia, it will also produce manganese oxide and also it will produce aluminum sulfate NH4 twice SO4. So this is the chemical reaction will takes place in a regeneration of manganese oxide. So the activated manganese oxide is filtered from the ammonium sulfate solution and the filtrate is passed through a crystallizer where ammonium sulfate is recovered. So So the byproduct of this chemical reaction, we can filter the manganese oxide, which is solid, from the liquid, and also by using some distillation process, we can recover the aluminum sulfate. Next method is Reinluft process. Reinluft process. In this process, we use activated carbon as adsorbent. So see, in this process, the adsorbent or activated carbon which we use is semi-coke of peat. So peat it is a type of coal. It is a type of coal, and semi-coke of coal means whenever we burn coal in the absence of air or oxygen at 1300 degrees centigrade, it will produce two products, coke and coal gas. So whenever we burn coal at 1300 degrees centigrade, that coal will produce coke. So that coke is used as a adsorbent here. So see here, this process uses cheap semi-coke of peat carbonized under vacuum at 600 degrees centigrade as a adsorbent, and the flue gas enters the lower section of the adsorber at 150 to 200 degrees centigrade, and after partial absorption of SO2 gas, it is withdrawn and then passed through the cooler where it is cooled to about 110 degrees centigrade. After cooling, it is returned to the upper section of the adsorber and leaves the top of the adsorber at temperature 100 degrees centigrade. Then it means in this process, the flue gases contains, it means the temperature of the flue gases will be 150 to 200 degrees centigrade, and then at the temp and the flue gases which contains that much of temperature will get absorbed by the adsorber. It means activated carbon, and then after once the absorption of SOx by activated carbon has been completed, after that the adsorbent is to be cooled up to 100 degrees centigrade. So after once the cooling is completed, the gas will move to the upper section of the adsorption unit, and then the temperature within the chamber will be reduced up to 100 degrees centigrade. In this process also, we can regenerate the activated carbon. So that regeneration will take place in a regenerator. So the equipment or the unit which is used for the regeneration process is called as regenerator. So see here, the spent carbon is dropped into a regenerator where it is heated up to 380 to 450 degrees centigrade by an inert gas stream. It means by using inert gas stream, it means we can heat it, hydrogen, helium, lithium. Sorry, argon, helium, neon, xenon, radon. So these are all the inert gases. So by using inert gases, we have to heat the spent adsorbent at 380 to 450 degrees centigrade. So at that temperature, we can remove the adsorbed oxides of sulfur as well as acidic material from the activated carbon. So then we can also produce or recover sulfur dioxide from the regeneration process, and also we can make the activated carbon fresh in the regeneration process. So in this process, we will use activated carbon as a adsorbent, and that activated carbon is made up of semi-coke of peat which is carbonized under vacuum at 600 degrees centigrade. So that product is used as a adsorbent here, and this adsorption process will be taken place at 200 degrees centigrade. And after that, once the adsorption of SOx completed by activated carbon, we have to reduce the temperature within the adsorption chamber up to 110 degrees centigrade. After that, we can send the spent adsorbent, it means spent activated carbon to the regenerator. There we can regenerate the activated carbon. Regeneration means making fresh. That is called as regeneration process. So this is about dry process, which is the it means which is the method of this is the method of flue gas desulfurization or desulfurization after combustion. In this two processes are there, dry process and wet process. In this session we have seen about dry process. In dry process we have discussed about alkalized alumina process, manganese oxide process and activated carbon process, and after this we are going to see about wet methods, flue gas desulfurization under this wet methods. So there are wet methods means mostly we will use absorption process, and the equipment used for this wet methods are scrubbers. Mostly we will use scrubbers. So it means here we will scrub the various liquids, scrubber, spray, various liquids to absorb the oxides of sulfur from the flue gases or pollutant gases. So the liquids, mostly we will use three types of liquids to absorb the flue gases, to absorb the oxides of sulfur from flue gases. There, first one is the slurry of lime or limestone. Next one is the slurry of magnesium oxide, and next one is the aqueous solution of sodium sulfite. Sodium sulfite. So, so the equipment which used for this for scrubbing of lime to absorb the oxides of sulfur is called as limestone scrubber, and the equipment used for the scrubbing of magnesium oxide is called as magnesium oxide scrubber, and the equipment used for the sodium sulfate is called as sodium sulfate scrubber, and this process also called as Wellman's process. So this is the another name of for the scrubber which uses for the scrubbing process which uses sodium sulfite as a scrubbing media. So that name is called as Wellman's process. So these are all the three methods which we can use as wet methods or absorption methods to absorb the oxides of sulfur from flue gases or pollutant gases. So about these three methods we will see in next session. Thank you. Thank you very much.